I'm Linda Barnes-Caldwell, Councilwoman of the 5th District, and I would like to welcome you to our community forum for the month of September. Tonight's special guest is LaRon Jones. Mr. Jones, resource
Resource advocate coordinator with Gary for Life. Yes.
with Gary for Life and with the Goodwill
Goodwill.
Industries.
Yes.
And at this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to him and let him explain all the things that he does.
Thank you. First of all, it's a pleasure you having me. So I appreciate you all having me tonight. As she stated, my name is LaRon Jones. I am the coordinator or resource advocate with Goodwill and Gary for Life. Um, what we do is we're an initiative where we try to bring community and social services and law enforcement all together to better serve our community. We work with individuals who have been in gangs or group affiliations or have been impacted by some type of violent offense. Joy Holiday is my amazing boss and director of the Gary for Life initiative. And what we do is we try to work with individuals to keep them from having to go back to the streets. And, my job as a coordinator and my goal is to just work with them to remove whatever barriers that they may have that will have them go back to the streets. So we work with education, job placement. I try to work with them with child support, licensing, whatever it may be. And what it looks like is just that me working with them day to day, trying to connect them with whatever those resources may be that they need to keep them from having to go out to the streets or return back, and to committing any violent crime. Some other interesting facts about us. I know that a lot of time when we talk about it, people look at us as a point of service, but we're not a point of service. One thing that we try to do is we want to make our clients that we deal with, we want to make them dependable and try to build them up. So it's not a thing of where you just send people to us and we just do all these amazing things for them. I really try to work with them and changing their mindset as well as removing their barriers and having them meet certain goals where we can be able to assist them in certain areas. So.
Wonderful. Share with us some of the services that Goodwill offers and shares with the community.
Some of the services, one thing that we do is called work experience, which is because it's Goodwill directly. So we're able to employ individuals with different backgrounds at Goodwill, where we do a thing called work experience, where they actually work and they're getting paid during the time where they work. They work directly with me. We set goals for them, and then every 30 days we come back and we meet with them to see are they meeting those goals and are they being an adequate employee. So we try to give them that hands-on experience because a lot of time we have individuals who may have been incarcerated for X amount of time, or either they have little to no job history. So with work experience, we try to give them that hands-on actual work experience. Another thing that we do before we do the work experience, we do a job readiness and life skills program. And kind of how that looks, if I take a couple of steps back, is that once a client is referred to us, they'll meet with me and we complete what is called the intake. I'm sure everyone knows what the intake is. We complete an intake, and that's where I will give an assessment and find out, more in depth about them and where they are in life, what their job history looks like, or what they have going on. And that's where I'll decide, does this client need job readiness, or are they ready for work? Or, because everyone's situation is different. Some people can't just jump right into being for work if their mindset isn't ready. So we do what is called job readiness and life skills, where we just work on things like an elevator speech, preparing them from interviews, giving them a resume, just going through different life crises and scenarios with them that may take place on the job, because we want to not only employ them, but we want to make sure that they are ready for work before, just throwing them out there. So we do offer the job readiness, and that has been ran by myself and my coworker, Jaleesa Prophet. We've been doing it. It's been really great, and we've been able to place people and get them jobs sustainable. Work experience, after certain periods of working at Goodwill, they can be offered full-time positions and working at Goodwill based on that. And so during that time, not only do we have them do their work experience, I'm working with them to attack whatever child support issues that they may have, attack with licensing issues. I just try, so that is our main goal, is that we're trying to remove whatever barriers. We connect them with substance abuse treatment. We have a new partner that we're actually that we're working with now, that me and Joy have been meeting with, which is therapy. We've connected with Purdue Northwest University. And so we're looking to being able to offer them therapeutic services so that they can, seek mental help as well. So another thing, my goal is just basically trying to connect them with whatever their barrier is in any way that we can assist them possible. We try to help them with that. We have the Excel Center at Goodwill, where if they don't have an education, they can attend the Excel Center, which also has a daycare as well. So, those that are looking to further their education. We also partner with Work One, who offers a variety of training, and we, work with them if they're looking for training or to become certified. The services at Work One and other places go on and on. But what it looks like on my end is just connecting them with whatever their resource may be to get ahead to whatever their long-term goal is.
Okay. Do you have any information about the Excel Center, what you would need or how you could become a participant of it?
Well, they have they do an online, I forget the exact website. I know it's on Goodwill, the Excel Center, but you can do an application online. But you can also go up there. They have someone there. They're there every day to 4:30. But you can literally go up there and they will help you enroll. They have someone that's there on site every day, and that is at 4610 West Ridge Road. That's a Gary location. They have Excel Centers elsewhere as well, but the Gary location specifically, they have someone there daily that would assist them and getting them with everything they need to enroll. But from my understanding, it's pretty painless. There's not a whole lot of stipulations or requirements. They do require them, if they have had prior schooling, they do require transcripts and everything just to see where they at. And then they start off with testing to gauge where they would need to assist them at.
Very good. What else, Mr. Jones, do you want to share with us?
What else? I feel like I've said a lot. Joy, is there anything that I'm missing or anything you think that I need to, anything you want to elaborate on?
I think you did an excellent job of really describing what it is that we do with Gary for Life on the social services end. And what it is that not only do we extend our services to individuals who may be trying to leave a certain lifestyle behind, we also assist victims as well. And so the idea is, just as us as a city, we step in the gap for individuals, those people that have been victims of homicide or either non-fatal shooting. We will go and we'll do custom notifications with them. So we sit with the families, and oftentimes I have always tried to reiterate to people the trauma that families go through whenever they have had a crisis situation and such. And so we stand in the gap with that family as a city, and we try to address any needs that they may have at that particular time. And that speaks to the trauma. And we understand what trauma can do to us, not only, to just the immediate family, but to us as a community. And so Gary for Life really is a community-based initiative where we can utilize law enforcement as well as community, because we understand that we have to be on both sides of this table if we're going to make true impact in repairing and restoring our community and helping everyone to feel safe. And so as LaRon was saying, what he does is basically he's a navigator for individuals. So individuals who have made that decision, and I hear it oftentimes as well as Mr. Jones, I'm ready to turn my life around, but they may not understand the steps that it's going to take in order to do that. And so I consider what Mr. Jones does, he's an actual personal navigator to help them through these different systems so that we can address whatever barriers that they may have. But we have also realized that you must support the entire network around those individuals. So we extend those services to family members as well, because we want their influential people that are in their lives to be healthy and whole, so that they can assist them and support them in the decisions that they're making. Because it is who you hang around, it is who you are and who you share your space with that's going to be the people that really support you, as you're going through these steps to repair your life. So this is really a holistic approach to crime prevention and intervention, because we're really trying to decrease the amount of gun violence that we're seeing in our urban communities.
Yes.
Ms. Holliday, how does a person get in contact with you or Mr. Jones if they're ready to turn their life around?
I can answer that. We are a referral-based organization. So, of course, there's my number. A lot of times I get people, especially if it's word of mouth. But we do have a referral form that I can send to you and email to others a lot of times. So just by filling out our referral form and sending it to me, and I would contact that client within 48 hours. And then that's when we would set up an appointment and I would complete what is called an intake, the intake with them. But they can, it's as simple as them giving me a call, if they have heard about the services directly, or they fall into whatever the qualification, our qualifications of the program. I would then set up a meeting with them, or we can get a referral from an agency. And so we have that referral form, and then we just kind of go from there. And if they don't fall within what is Gary for Life program, I do still assist them and refer them to programs that help them, because we specifically, deal with violent crimes and gang and group affiliated individuals, or like Joy stated, victims of the families and people who have been impacted by a violent offense.
And if everyone could, who is interested as well in receiving even more information, I left my information in the chat, Councilwoman.
Okay.
So that information is there.
Did you give your full title and say that what all that you do, or did you just give us just a little?
Myself or Mr. Jones?
You, Ms. Holliday.
Okay. You know what? My apologies. I forgot to introduce myself. So I am.
Because I'm sure everyone doesn't know who you are.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Joy Holliday, and I am the executive director for the Mayor's Office of Violence Prevention. And so I am the program manager for Gary for Life, in which we assist adults, again, who have been victims or either at risk of committing gun violence or either gang violence. And also, I am the manager for Thrive Gary, which is our youth initiative that we are very, very proud of being able to bring on, because Gary for Life is what we consider to be intervention. And unfortunately, that means that a violent act has already occurred. And so now we're taking steps to intervene. But with our young people, the many years that I have spent working with Gary for Life, and as a privilege of serving our community, what I have truly, truly noticed, and what I have spoken on before is that we want to prevent our young people from ever becoming involved in the criminal justice system. And so these are the efforts that we're going to take in order to prevent them from taking those steps. So those are the titles that I have. But the one that serves everyone is I'm truly, truly just a servant to the community.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. With I guess what's your turnaround rate? How do our citizens come to you, and how do they leave? Do they stay? Do they pursue it? Tell me?
We have many stories, many stories to tell on that end. And I'll start and then let Mr. Jones tell his side as well. And one of the things that we are proud of is those individuals. One is that we recognize that individuals, they're going to have their high and their low points, and we must give them the latitude. They're going to fall down. But what we're there to do is to actually bolster them back up and keep their self-esteem going and keep them headed towards the direction of fulfilling their goals. So we recognize that we're not there to be punitive with them, to say, oh, you shouldn't have, or how could you? No, we stand in non-judgment, but we also hold them accountable, because again, we're trying to make them valuable members of our communities. And so we've had, for us participants, our recidivism is less than 5%. And those are individuals who are actually working their program or working the initiative. Those are individuals that Mr. Jones, he works with daily. And when they do that, we have less than 5% who has any additional contact with law enforcement after.
Yes.
So that is something that we're very, very proud of. So we hope that individuals, if they're coming to us and they're less than whole, we try our best to make sure that we're there to assist them in accomplishing becoming a whole individual again.
Yes, and just piggybacking off of what you said, one thing that is very important to me, not only are we not a point of contact, we're not a point of drop off either. So when they are being placed into, whether it be employment, and if they went and got employment at casino and we've assisted that with them, I'm not just employing them and then that's it. You know, my job is to continue work with them because, as she says, they do have highs and lows. I've had clients who have switched jobs and went and stayed at another job and been there for years, you know, but they may have did this job for 90 days. And so it's really like my focus is really relationship building with them initially and then just staying consistent. A lot of times what I see in this field period is a lot of guys have, or people just have people who have say they will do one thing but they don't follow through, and there is not a consistent connection, and sometimes they just simply don't know. They don't know the way, or don't know how to get back up. And so my job is just, you know, my goal is just sticking with them through whatever their process looks like. Like Joy said, we're not judgmental. We're not being judgmental. I'm going to hold you accountable, but I'm also going to give you the tools to redirect yourself and get back on that path, whatever that path may look like for you. So we've had some great stories. We have guys, you know, who have committed to what other people may see deemed to be, you know, just that they couldn't come back from, but we have them who have became managers, you know, at corporations and are still working and making good money and providing for their families and are doing well. And like she says, have not been back and offended again. So we're doing pretty well, but my main goal is to just definitely sticking with them and not just dropping them off and expecting them to soar.
Yes. And what we do, we really do, and that's on the anecdotal side of things, but we take a practitioner view of it as well. Mr. Jones and I, we have a bi-weekly case conference on each individual that we're servicing. And so as he does the intake and we sit down and he sits down with them and establish what goals, what barriers need to be addressed, we also matriculate through that and we touch bases with each other every couple of weeks to make sure that each individual's needs are being serviced. And then how are we moving them away from? Because we want to move to a place, and this is something that I share with Mr. Jones all the time. We're trying to move individuals into a place and a space in their lives in which they do not need programming, in which they do not need initiatives. We want them to be independent. We want them to be able to thrive in our communities, and some individuals and some people may disagree. However, we know that to stop individuals from re-offending in our communities, we have to do something that's going to speak towards really giving them the life skills that they're going to need in order to be active participants that all of us can pull on, that's going to create a community in which we can all thrive in. So that is really what we're trying to do in a more therapeutic way as we continue to bring on even more services, again, addressing the traumas that those individuals and some of our families are going through. So again, we're looking for different ways. We are not some people may say, oh, crime is still X or crime is still Y. And the answer that I have to that is that we are not just the answer. We are only one spoke in the wheel. There are many people in our community that's doing great work. As far as even for the city, I know that our council is very active in trying to find ways in which we can really improve, and we keep building on it, trying to establish those best practices. So with all of these individuals and entities that are working together, trying to figure this out, the one thing that we can't do is not try.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mr. Jones. What else do you want to tell us?
I think we said it all. We've covered everything. Like I said, my goal is definitely, just trying to connect them with the resources and walking them through the steps to help them become. Well, I apologize.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the constituents? Ms. Stallion normally has questions. You don't have any questions today, Ms. Stallion? I don't see anything in the chat.
Well, as Joyce said, I did leave my contact information in the chat as well. I can also email you the referral form that we use to refer clients. And of course, if anyone is interested or would like to, speak more in depth about it, I'm always available and like we're just here to serve.
Ms. Holiday?
Yes, Councilwoman. Actually, I was going to pose a question to you or to get your feedback. Again, you have always been such a supporter of our efforts, and you attended our last call-in. And for everyone that is joining us today, that is the meeting that we have, or it's really a community meeting where those high-risk individuals are invited to, and they hear a message from Geared for Life from the city standpoint, as well as on law enforcement end. And so we get a chance to hear from a mother who has lost their child to violence. We get a chance to hear from someone who's turned their life around because of after living that particular lifestyle. And then the other part of that message is from law enforcement, where we do have partnerships with the Lake County Prosecutor's Office, the DA, as well as the entire alphabet soup of ATF, FBI, DEA. Those are the individuals that on the law enforcement side, because as my responsibility, I'm pretty much the liaison that's in the middle. So between what we're doing for social services and assisting those individuals, also a liaison with law enforcement, because what we have been able to study from so many different perspectives is that there has to be a consequence for the behavior. But if you are ready to turn your life around, this is us as a city standing in agreement with you. So it was, what that experience is like, for other people that are able to attend.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. It was very informative. So I was wondering, how many young men do you all actually reach? Because the word is, we'll help you if you let us, and we'll get you if you make us. So, yeah.
Yes. That is a message, and it's a very intentional message. And that message, it resonates. And what we know just as being mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, is that you can't lead a horse to water. So they have to be at a point in their lives that they are ready to stop. However, everyone is not ready. Everyone is not ready. Even after hearing this message, even after having these choices, they're not ready yet. And I think that it is absolutely necessary for our community's sake, which many of us we live in, our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents, they live in, to keep them safe. So that's the other part of the message, is for law enforcement. There is a consequence for this behavior. However, the city of Gary is here to assist you if you are ready. And then the stories that really, really resonates with the young men. And we've done 10 call-ins so far, and it is open to the community. So if anyone would like an invite to our next call-in, again, use my number that's in the chat area, and I'll make sure that you get an invitation, because it is invitation only. But we welcome the community, because these young men, they need to see that there are people that care about you. There are people that are here, that hold no title, but they hold something in their heart to say, the young man, I'm here for you. I'm here to take my time to hear and to be of support for you. And it's very important. And so out of those 10 call-ins, when the mayor gets up and speak, and like I said, we've done 10 so far. So when the mayor gets up and speak, okay, they may have, their attention. When we have Bernard Carter, our prosecutor, he gets up and speak, okay, fine. All right. And then they may hear someone, telling them, okay, well, you can do this and you can do that. The moment in which their attention actually focuses, and when I start to see that there's a change in their faces, and is when they hear that mother. And, the unfortunate part of my job is that I have sat with families who are going through a crisis situation. And I can't tell you the countless times that I have heard a mother wail and drop tears because their child is no longer with us. And that is something that changes you to the core. And that is what keeps us passionate, people like LaRon and I, and as well as our, much of our community. That's what keeps us passionate about what it is that we do. And it is at that time that they really focus in, because now they get to see the consequence of the behavior. They get to see a consequence of that split-second decision of how you change someone's life. And so at this call-in, we actually had the mother of Ariane Lilly join us, and she shared with us the story of what it was like to lose her son to violence that we had in the streets.
At the time, I was the nurse over at the middle school where he was attending. Yeah. So.
Oh my God, I did not know that. Absolutely. And so again, you're a witness. You can bear witness to the fact that it didn't just affect his life, all of his friends, his school community, everyone.
It did. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you want to change your life, if you want to stop doing what you're doing, Mr. LaRon Jones is at the Goodwill Industries on, what's that address again?
4610 West Ridge Road, Gary.
And that is in the 5th district in the city of Gary. Let me throw that plug in. And if you want to get another start, you can contact Ms. Joy Holiday, and her number and email address is in the chat box, but it's jholiday@gary.gov, so you can send her an email. And I don't have any questions yet. I see Ms. Morris is on, and Ms. Hall and Ms. Stallion, and a few telephone calls. So I don't have any questions today. I don't know why. Okay.
Well, hopefully that means we explained it. Hopefully that means we explained everything well.
You did a very good job. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Jones, this is Miss Hall. You explained it very clearly and succinctly. Thank you for coming tonight. And you too, Miss Holiday. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Hall.
Thank you for having us.
I guess this will be aired and shared on Facebook, so you'll get some more views, and hopefully someone will contact you, some friends or families that are willing to assist their other friends and families into making a change. If we don't have anything else, I really appreciate you all sharing your evening with us. Thank you for all the valuable information you shared with us. And Ms. Holiday, I never had you on, but we killed 2 birds with 1 stone tonight. Yes.
Yes, we did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Could you share the number that you left? Is that the number to Goodwill, the building?
For me? No, that is the number directly to me. So that is the number they will be able to reach me directly, and they can when they contact that number.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, again, I thank you for sharing your evening and getting this information, and I will see you again on the 20, our next meeting, which will be Mr. John Patalis from the Lake County Auditor's Office will be our next special guest this month. And I think it's on a 23rd. Let's see, if you had your calendar out, it'll be the 27th, I believe. Yep, the 27th. So I look forward to seeing you all on the 27th at 5:30. Again, Ms. Holiday, Mr. Jones, thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, everyone.